What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. It's going to be a big year for your boys in blue as they look to defend their title. So be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. For all the latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, podcasts, you're going to find it right here on the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, and give me all your takes down below in the comment section. I want all your takes on Yasiel Puig down below in the comment section. And for all the latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So we finally reached January 2021, and that's a big month for Major League Baseball. Look, it used to be all about December, but December was slow. December was slower than watching Pedro Baez pitch a 9-inning game in slow motion. That's how slow it was. But now Major League Baseball, it's all about January. It's not about December, and I think we're going to learn a lot this month. I think we're going to find out where we are when it comes to re-signing Justin Turner. It was reported yesterday that he's seeking a 4-year deal. The Dodgers want to give him a 2-year deal. So right now it sounds like they're pretty far apart when it comes to contract negotiations. And will the Dodgers sign one of these big fish? Will they land a DJ LeMahieu or a Liam Hendricks? We're going to find out in the next month or so. But today's video is about an old friend, your friend Yasiel Puig. Now, if you know me, you know I love me some Wild Horse. I know you miss Yasiel Puig too. It's just not the same without the Wild Horse running wild at Dodger Stadium. Look, I miss the Lumberlicks.
Somebody, you're Yasiel, that's the place. Oh, wow, got a mouthful of the bat.
And you know I miss Puig going crazy in those clubhouse celebrations.
I'm winning.
And I know you didn't have him this year because of the pandemic, but can you imagine Puig in the locker room after the Dodgers had won the World Series? But Yasiel Puig, we all know he's a polarizing player. He's a mercurial player. And at one point, it looked like he was on a rocket ship headed for superstardom, but it just didn't turn out that way. The Dodgers, they ultimately shipped him to Cincinnati in exchange for a package surrounding Josiah Gray and Jeter Downs. And look at how that turned out. They flipped Jeter Downs ultimately in a package for Mookie Betts, and now Josiah Gray is a rising star in the Dodgers farm system. Now, when Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers decided to move him prior to the 2019 season, you saw some of his numbers continue to trend in the wrong direction. That walk rate was going down, that strikeout rate was going up. His OPS was relatively the same, and he posted a little higher of a WRC plus in 2018 than he did in 2017, but that WAR was going down, and it was really clear that he was a player that was on the decline. But even that version of Yasiel Puig belongs in this show. Now, last season you saw what happened. He was going to play for the Atlanta Braves, sign a deal with the Bravos. Ultimately, he tested positive for COVID. Things just didn't work out between Yasiel Puig and the Atlanta Braves. Well, it turns out he's close to making a comeback. This morning, Mark Feinsand tweeted out, Yasiel Puig is drawing interest from multiple teams per sources. Red Sox, Yankees, Astros, Marlins, and Orioles appear to have varying levels of interest. So I'm really excited about the possibility of Yasiel Puig making a comeback, even if it's not for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He can still help clubs in the bigs. Look, he's big in the postseason. You saw what he did against the Chicago Cubs, had OPS over 1,000 in 2017. He had a monster series in 2018, had 3 doubles in that big home run in Game 7 against the Brewers, had the big home run where he raised his arms in the World Series. So I think he can really help some teams, and if he's focused, that's the biggest thing. If he's in shape and he's focused, he's a different player. And right now, Puig is currently playing in the Dominican Winter Leagues with the Toros del Este, and they're trying to win their second title. So Puig's down there trying to help them go back-to-back. Playoff start for them next week. And last week he did a little video conference with reporters, and he had some really interesting things to say about his future, about his past. Here's what he had to say. The main thing for me and my agent right now is to be healthy and improve the things that bothered some people when I played, to give my best in the playoffs and in the big leagues in the future, if I have the opportunity in spring 2021. Now, I think one of the most frustrating things when it came to Puig's time in LA was he listening to his coaches? Now, the next thing he said was, you've got to pay attention to the coaches. If they tell me to move to a certain area and the ball ends up being hit somewhere else, that's a problem with their statistics. They're the ones in charge. So it tells you right there, some of those plays where Puig was making diving catches when it looked like he was hustling, if he was in the right position to begin with, it wouldn't have looked that hard. And yes, it led to some sweet highlights sometimes, but bottom line, he wasn't listening to his coaches. He would go on to say, I didn't like to do it because I'm the one in the game and I see if the batter is going to hit the ball here or not. If they decide on the positioning, you've got to respect that. You've got to do what they say. I'm ready to play in the big leagues and leave behind the things that were bothersome. And then finally he said, I want to give my best and prepare for any team that wants to give me a chance in the big leagues. I want the opportunity to play every day. So I like what I'm hearing from Yasiel Puig. I think he knows at this point that he can't run his shenanigans in a clubhouse. He has to come in focused. He can't be a distraction, and he has to produce. That's the bottom line. And look, at this point in his career, I still think he's a guy that can hit 260, give you 20, 25-plus home runs a year, and he's still just 30 years old. He turned 30 back in December. Feels like he's been in the league for an eternity, but he's just 30 years old. And I think if you're any of those teams that Feinsand mentioned, like the Yankees, Red Sox, Astros, Orioles, or Marlins, you have to bring him in if you want him to be himself to an extent. If you want to bring some life into that clubhouse, give that clubhouse an edge, bring some spark to your fan base, he's a guy that can do that, because we all know that people love to talk about Yasiel Puig, and he also has a lot of talent, but what he doesn't have right now is a lot of leverage. So I think you could get him to a team-friendly contract, throw some incentives in there, and you're going to get a motivated Yasiel Puig on his best behavior. So I think he's going to make some noise next year. I really do, and I just hope he does not end up with the Houston Astros. Do not go to the Asterisks, Yasiel Puig. The Yankees, I get it, can see him in pinstripes. I can see him on the Red Sox, but any team but the Houston Astros. I do not want to see him on that team, but I'll never forget Yasiel Puig. June 3rd, 2013, gets a base hit in his first at-bat, ends up getting 2 hits in his first game, and then he doubles up to Norfree at first to end the game. So that's when you knew he was special. That double play there, it was Puig mania here in Los Angeles. By the way, who was the first base coach that night? It was Dave Roberts for the San Diego Padres. He ends up winning a World Series for the Dodgers about 7 years later. So I don't anticipate a Puig reunion at the Ravine, but I do hope to see him back in the bigs next season. He definitely belongs in the show. And I think, look, his life is incredible. Defecting from Cuba, making it into the bigs. He made the All-Star team in 2014. At one point, it looked like he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He looked like he was that special when he jumped onto the scene. But I wish nothing but the best for Yasiel Puig. He needs to be back in the show, just not with the Astros. So don't do it. Don't sign with them. I've said in the past, my dream is to make a movie with Yasiel Puig and call it Major Puig. I think that would be one of the greatest baseball movies ever, because he's got a great story. But let me know down below in the comments. Do you want to see him back in Dodger Blue? And if not, where do you think he'll sign this offseason? Does he deserve another shot in the show? Let me know down below in the comments. And be sure to head over to gearup.la for all latest Dodgers Nation merch. You're going to find it right over there. I've got my friend of the show t-shirt today from the Blue Heaven podcast, Monday, the flagship show, hosted by the senior editors Clint Pasillas and Brooke Smith. But head over to gearup.la, some of the hottest Dodger designs in the game. You got shirts, mugs, hoodies, all kinds of stuff over there. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel for all the latest Dodgers news, rumors, hype videos, interviews, podcasts. You're going to find it right here. It's going to be a big year for the Dodgers. Rumors, news, all day, every day. You're going to find it right here on the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. That's at DMac_LA. For all the latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.